Are you ready to stop being a victim, to take control of your life and start shaping your reality rather than being shaped by your reality? I'm going to share with you a principle from Dr. Joe Dispenza that was actually an ancient principle passed down to us thousands of years ago through the ancient scriptures. We're going to look at that principle and how Joe unpacks the science in it for us, and it's going to change your reality if you apply it in your life. Before we're done in the next few minutes, I want to tell you that principle. But secondly, if you'll hang around to the end, I want to give you a very practical way to apply it and start shaping your life into the life of your dreams starting right now. So what is this principle of Joe Dispenza that was passed down by the ancient scriptures to us thousands of years ago, and we're just now beginning to understand the science behind it? It is this. Dr. Joe says it this way: if you want a new outcome, you will have to break the habit of being yourself and reinvent a new self. Now, that's easier said than done, right? How do we do it? Well, the truth is we do it through stopping trying to find our happiness, our purpose, our peace, our prosperity, whatever it is for you, on the outside of us. We have to learn to turn within and find everything that makes life make sense on the inside. And when you start with that inner power, you're going to manifest the life of your dreams, because you're going to push that inner power to the outside of you, and you're going to begin to attract those things almost like icing on the cake that you really want in life to yourself. But your happiness is not going to be dependent on it. Your happiness is going to be dependent on what's going on inside of you. Now, how does this relate to ancient scriptures? Well, a long time ago, the Apostle Paul himself said, "Do not be conformed to this world." Some translations say to the pattern of this world, the way things work in this world, in other words, but be transformed by what? Getting what you want, going after it with hustle and grind, pursuing the life of your dreams? No, he said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Just what Dr. Joe says that science backs up today. When we change our mindset, the way we think, when we change the way we operate within and the way we believe in ourselves and believe in God and source and how all of that works and how life itself works, that's when we start really transforming our life, because we start tapping in to a cosmic, eternal power that has the ability to literally alter reality. Now, here's how all of this works together in real time in the real world. When you start to change your thinking, when you start to change your thoughts, you start to change your beliefs. And when you start to change your beliefs, you start to change your behaviors and your actions. And when you change your behaviors and your actions, guess what you change? You change your outcomes. You change your life. It's all a process, but it has to start in here. And where most of it started is we started out here. If we want something, we figure out everything we can figure out to go get it, to make it happen. If we want more money, we start figuring out, how do I generate more income? How do I get more clients? How do I take on a second job, if that's what it is for you? If we want a dream destination to live in, we start looking at, how am I going to be able to make that happen? How do I get out of the situation I'm in and into the situation I want to be in? What do I have to give up? What do I have to get into? So many times in our life, we're on the outside trying to make things happen, when really the true power is what Paul said and Joe said, to turn within, to start by transforming your mind, the way you think. Why? Paul said it so well. He said, don't be conformed to the pattern of this world. He said, most people, most of the planet, most everybody you've ever known or ever will know thinks in a very in-the-box way of thinking. They think hustle and grind equals the life of your dreams. They think if you want something, you got to go after it with all your heart. I'm not saying there's no work involved. I'm not saying there's no effort involved. What I'm saying, that's not the starting place. That's the finishing line. That's like trying to run a race and you go ahead of all the competition and you line up on the finish line and the whistle blows and you cross over. It doesn't work like that. You got to go back to the starting line and start with everybody else. But the starting base has got to be changing your mind, changing your beliefs. And when you start to do that, you start to change your life. In fact, Jesus himself said this very same thing. He said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Where is it at? Where's the power at? Is it not? And it is not in some place in the great beyond. It's not out there somewhere in the skies or in the universe or wherever in your mind heaven is at. He said the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's now. He says elsewhere something that's been misinterpreted so many times. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And in the tradition I grew up in, we were taught that meant it's any day Jesus is going to come back and get us, that it's at hand, it's right there. But the truth is, it's at hand. It's within your grasp to take it and put it in your heart and begin to understand it's right here. Here's where the power's at. On the inside, not on the outside. When you start to understand that principle, guess what you do? You start to transform your thinking, your thoughts. You start to transform your behaviors. You start to transform your life because you're changing it from the inside out. And that's really where the power is at for you. Now, this might sound like an oversimplification, but the truth is, this is how all of life works together. Now, I told you here at the end, I would give you a practical way to apply it in your life. How do you change your thinking? How do you change your mind? Well, what's involved in doing that? Well, your subconscious, the part of you that does 95% of your thinking, by the way, runs on autopilot. It's like the hard drive computer of your operating system, who is you. Your subconscious really is the one that keeps running and running and running everything when you're not thinking. The conscious brain is when you think. It's like what you're using to watch this video, to take in this information, to do your job when you go to work, whatever it is. But the subconscious brain is what was programmed into you, most of it by age 7, your beliefs and the way you look at life, when you were in that theta brainwave state up to about 7 years old, where you were just a sponge taking it all in. Well, the problem is, as we get older, we move out of that theta wave brain state where it's just like an open container taking in whatever's poured into it. And then we start critically thinking and we do all the stuff we have to do to survive. And we're only in those theta states as we're coming in and out of sleep. That's when kind of theta brain waves and openness happens. That's why meditations are great at night. They're great at the first thing in the morning. All of that stuff is opening yourself up to be programmed with new belief systems. So what do we do? If we're no longer in that state all the time, all day, how do we reprogram it? A couple of things. I think as you're going to bed, if you will begin to say some affirmation statements, I know that sounds simple, but to affirm the new belief system you want to have as you're drifting off, it's a great thing. I put them on my television at night. I have some affirmation videos. Go to YouTube, turn them on, and as I drift off, I let those positive messages go into my brain about who I really am and what I really have and what I really can do. And I promise you, the last year and a half, it's changed my whole life. It's why I'm here with you. It's what started me on this track for this coaching business I now have, and working with great people just like you, helping them in their life every day. All of that was way out of grasp for me just about a year and a half ago, till I started changing my beliefs. And a great way to do that, program yourself as you're going to bed. Another great way to do it is reprogram yourself when you first wake up. When I get up in the morning, I say 4, 5, 6, 10 things I'm grateful for, because I like to start my day with my haves, not my have-nots. And then I go straight to the bathroom to start getting ready. And lots of days, I listen to positive affirmations. Are they magical? No, they're just phrases. But I'm programming my subconscious with who I really want to be. Because your subconscious, once it kind of closes off after 7 years old, you have to either hack it when you're going to bed and waking up and it's in that theta state and you can pour in whatever you want to pour in, it'll stay there, or it learns through habit. It learns through being told a new belief over and over and over and over until it gets it. And I kind of did it the hard way for a long time. For about a year and a half, I just kept catching myself doing what Dispenza says. When you feel yourself thinking a wrong belief, stop right there, pause, bring yourself back to this present moment in time, because that's really all we have. We live in our predictable past, or in our predictable future, or we live in our past that we've come to know so well. Don't live there. When you feel those temptations to get out and worry about the future or regret the past, come back to the present and tell yourself who you really are. Not who you want to be, but who you are. I am great. I am powerful. I am enough. I am worthy. All those things, as you begin to program that into your subconscious over and over, it's kind of like when you learn to drive a car. You were way past the age of the theta brainwave state where you're wide open when you learn to drive. But now I bet you get in your car and you drive it and you don't even think about it, do you? You're thinking about your destination or the song on the radio or what you've got to do. Why? Because your subconscious is doing that for you. You've done it so many times, it's programmed in and it runs on autopilot. Right now, the life you're living that you don't want to be living is your autopilot. It's what you've programmed or others have programmed in your subconscious over time, but you can change it. And it's in this simple, powerful principle that Dispenza shares with us, where he says if you want a new outcome, you simply have to break the habit of being yourself and reinvent a brand new self. It's what Paul was talking about over 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago in the ancient scriptures when he said, don't be conformed to the patterns of this world. Don't be like everybody else. Don't think you got to hustle and grind to get it. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Change the way you think. Reprogram the subconscious. And I promise you, my friend, you will change your life. Hey, maybe you need a little bit of help changing some of these things in your life. There's a link below right here where you can book a free call with me and let's discuss a one-on-one coaching opportunity with me. It's no obligation. I would love to hear a little bit about your story, and if we're a fit, I would love to help you.